Good evening. Good evening, everyone. It's Matt Big T back on Talent Talks, and we're here with another chapter of the Biology of Belief, or we're continuing the same chapter. And so it goes. One of the most ingenious characteristics of the body's sophisticated signaling system is its specificity. Specificity. If you have a poison ivy rash on your arm, the relentless itchiness results from the release of histamine, the signal molecule that activates an inflammatory response to the ivy's allergen. Since there is no need to start itching all over your body, the histamine is only released at the site of the rash. Similarly, when a person is confronted with a stressful life experience, the release of histamine within the brain increases blood flow to the nervous tissues, enhancing the neurological processing required for survival. The release of histamine in the brain to deal with stress behaviors is physically restricted and does not lead to the initiation of inflammation responses in other parts of the body. Well, that's good to know. Like the National Guard, histamine is deployed only where it is needed and for as long as it is needed. But most of the medical industry's drugs have no specificity. Anyways, when you take an antihistamine to deal with the itchiness of the allergic rash, the ingested drug is distributed systematically. It affects histamine receptors wherever they are located throughout the whole body. Yes, the antihistamine will curb the blood vessels' inflammatory response, dramatically reducing allergic symptoms. However, when the antihistamine enters the brain, it inadvertently alters neural circulation that then impacts nerve function. That's why people who take over-the-counter antihistamines may experience allergy relief and also the side effects of feeling drowsy. A recent example of tragic adverse reactions to drug therapy is the debilitating and life-threatening side effects associated with synthetic hormone replacement therapy, HRT. Estrogen's best-known influence is on the function of the female reproductive system. However, more recent studies on the distribution of estrogen receptors in the body reveal that they, and of course their complementary estrogen signal molecules, play an important role in the normal function of blood vessels, the heart, and the brain. Doctors have routinely prescribed synthetic estrogen to alleviate menopausal symptoms associated with the shutting down of a woman's reproductive system. However, pharmaceutical estrogen therapy does not focus the drug's effects on the intended target tissue. The drug also impacts and disturbs the estrogen receptors of the heart, the blood vessels, and the nervous system. Synthetic hormone replacement therapy has been shown to have disturbing side effects that result in cardiovascular disease and neural dysfunction such as strokes. He gives he cites I think it's a study, Shoemaker et al. 2003, Wasser, Thiel, Smaller et al. 2003, Anderson et al. 2003, Colley et al. 2003, Bath and Gray 2005. So, whatever that means. Adverse drug effects, like those contributing to the HRT controversy, are a primary reason why a leading cause of death is iatrogenic illness, i.e., illness resulting from medical treatment. According to conservative estimates published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, iatrogenic illness is the third leading cause of death in this country. More than 120,000 people die from adverse effects of prescribed medications each year. A more recent study based on the results of a 10-year survey of government statistics came up with even more dismal figures. That study concludes that iatrogenic illness is actually the leading cause of death in the United States, and the adverse reactions to prescription drugs are responsible for more than 300,000 deaths a year. These are dismaying statistics, especially for a healing profession that has arrogantly dismiss 3,000 years of effective Eastern medicine as unscientific, even though it is based on a deeper understanding of the universe. For thousands of years, long before Western scientists discovered the laws of quantum physics, Asians have honored energy as the principal factor contributing to health and well-being. In Eastern medicine, the body is defined by an elaborate array of energy pathways called meridians. In the Chinese physiologic charts, the human body in the Chinese physiologic charts of the human body, these energy networks resemble electronic wiring diagrams. Using aids like acupuncture needles, Chinese physicians test their patients' energy circuits in exactly the same manner that electrical engineers troubleshoot a printed circuit board, searching for electrical pathologies. Physicians, the pharmaceutical pasties, or patsies. But as admiring as I am of the ancient wisdom of Eastern medicine, I do not want to bash Western doctors who prescribe massive quantities of drugs that contribute to the health profession's lethality. Medical doctors are caught between an intelligent rock and a corporate hard place. They are the pawns in the huge medical industrial complex. Their healing abilities are hobbled by an archaic medical education founded on Newtonian matter-only universe. Unfortunately, that philosophy went out of vogue 75 years ago, when physicists officially adopted quantum mechanics and recognized that the universe is actually made out of energy. In their postgraduate years, those same doctors received their continuing education about pharmaceutical products from the drug reps, the errand boys of the corporate healthcare industry. Essentially, these non-professionals, whose primary goal is to sell product, provide doctors with information about the efficacy of new drugs. Drug companies freely offer this education so they can persuade doctors to push their products. It is evident that the massive quantities of drugs prescribed in this country violate the Hippocratic oath taken by doctors to first do no harm. We have been programmed by pharmaceutical corporations to become a nation of prescription drug popping junkies, with tragic results. We need to step back and incorporate the discoveries of quantum physics into biomedicine so that we can create a new, safer system of medicine that is attuned to the laws of nature. Very true. I agree. Physics and medicine. A day late and a dollar short. The physical sciences have already embraced quantum physics with a sensational result. Humanity's wake-up call to the reality of quantum universe occurred on August 6, 1945. The atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. That day demonstrated the awesome power of applied quantum theory and dramatically ushered in the atomic age. Yes, it's awesome power, but it was terrible and devastating, and it shouldn't have been done. Let's just throw that in there. On a more constructive note, quantum physics made possible the electronic miracles that are the foundation of the information age. The application of quantum mechanics was directly responsible for the development of TVs, computers, CAT scans, lasers, rocket ships, and cell phones. But what great and marvelous advances in biomedical sciences can we attribute to the quantum revolution? Let's list them in order of their importance. It is a very short list. There are hardly any. Though I stress the need to apply the principles of quantum mechanics in bioscience, I'm not advocating that medicine throw out the valuable lessons it has learned using the principles of Isaac. The newest laws of quantum mechanics do not negate the result of classical physics. The planets are still moving in paths that were predicted by Newton's mathematics. Quantum physics is a larger realm of awareness that includes and substantially adds to the information provided by Newtonian physics. Consequently, quantum mechanics accounts for what was already known, plus a whole new realm of heretofore unrecognized forces that control the unfolding of our universe. A conventional a conventional notion regarding the difference between the two physics is that quantum mechanics more specifically applies to molecular and atomic realms, while Newtonian laws apply to higher levels of organization, such as organ systems, people, or populations of people. or populations of people. The manifestation of a disease, such as a cancer, may show up at a macro level when you can see and feel a tumor. However, the process that's instigated the cancer were initiated at the molecular level within the affected progenitor cell. In fact, most biological dysfunctions, except injuries due to physical trauma, start at a level of a cell's start at the level of a cell's molecules and ions. Hence the need for a biology that integrates both quantum and Newtonian mechanics. Conventional physics courses suggest that the principles of quantum mechanics that govern wave-particle interactions only apply at the level of atoms. By restricting quantum physics to the subatomic world, it has become a general assumption that quantum mechanisms do not apply to our personal lives and world affairs. I disagree. I disagree with that 100%. Therefore, today's physicists have completely failed to inform the public of the purely mental nature of the universe. Fortunately, leaders in the field, such as Johns Hopkins University physicist Richard Conn Henry, are addressing the misperceptions about the perceived primacy of the material world. Henry offered an elegantly simple definition on the true nature of the universe. The universe is immaterial, mental, and spiritual. Live and enjoy. Applies at every level of the universe, from the Big Bang down to the quarks in atoms. If you don't know what quarks are, it's smaller than atoms. It's the smallest thing. Or I think yeah. There have thankfully been some visionary biologists who have advocated for the integration of Newtonian and quantum physics. More than 40 years ago, the renowned Nobel Prize-winning physiologist Albert Georgi, I don't know how to pronounce his name, published a book called Introduction to a Submolecular Biology. His text was a notable effort to educate the community of life scientists about the importance of quantum physics in biological systems. Unfortunately, his traditional peers, who considered the book to be the ravings of a once brilliant but now senile old man, merely lamented the loss of their former colleague. Biologists in the main have still not recognized the importance of his book, but research suggests that sooner or later they will have to, because the weight of scientific evidence is toppling the old materialist paradigm. You recall the movements of protein molecules that are the stuff of life. Scientists have tried to predict those movements using the principles of Newtonian physics, to no avail. By now, I bet you can guess why. In 2000, an article by V. Popfristic and L. Goodman in the journal Nature revealed that the laws of quantum physics, not Newtonian laws, control a molecule's life-generating movements. There you go. Reviewing this groundbreaking study for Nature, biophysicist F. Weinhold concluded, when will chemistry textbooks begin to serve as aids rather than barriers to this enriched quantum mechanic perspective on how molecular turnstiles work? He further emphasized, what are the forces that control the twisting and folding of molecules into complex shapes? Don't look for the answers in your organic chemistry textbook. Yet organic chemistry provides the mechanistic foundation for biomedicine, and as Weinhold notes, that branch of science is so far out of date that its textbooks have yet to recognize quantum mechanics. Conventional medical researchers have no understanding of the molecular mechanisms that truly provide for life. Frontier research on the mechanisms that cause proteins to change shape reveals the primacy of quantum properties in producing the movements that result in life. These studies demonstrate that the manipulation of the quantum properties of matter can influence the course of biochemical reactions. Hundreds upon hundreds of other scientific studies over the last 50 years have consistently revealed that invisible forces of the electromagnetic spectrum profoundly impact every facet of biological regulation. These energies include microwaves, radio frequencies, the visible light, light spectrum, extremely low frequencies, acoustic frequencies, and even a newly recognized form of force known as scalar energy. Specific frequencies and patterns of electromagnetic radiation regulate DNA, RNA, and protein synthesis, alter protein shape and functions, and control gene regulation, cell division, cell differentiation, morphogenesis, the process by which cells assemble into organs and tissues, hormone secretion, and nerve growth and function. Each one of these cellular activities is a fundamental behavior that contributes to the unfolding of life. Excuse me. Though these research studies have been published in some of the most respected mainstream biomedical journals as of 2010, their revolutionary findings have not yet been incorporated into the medical school curriculum. I wonder why. Probably because, throwing it in there takes a little bit of reorganizing of structure of classes, etc. But in the end, in order for us to evolve, we have to implement new processes, new procedures, new information, new education, etc., etc. An important study 40 years ago by Oxford University biophysicist C.W.F. McClare calculated and compared the efficiency of information transfer between energy signals and chemical signals in biological systems. His research, Resonance in Bioenergetics, published in the Annals of the New York Academy of Science, revealed that energetic signaling mechanisms such as electromagnetic frequencies are 100 times more efficient in relaying environmental information than physical signals such as hormones, neurotransmitters, growth factors, etc. It is not surprising that energetic signals are much more efficient. In physical molecules, the information that can be carried is directly linked to a molecule's available energy. However, the chemical coupling employed to transfer their information is accompanied by a massive loss of energy due to the heat generated in making and breaking chemical bonds. Because thermochemical coupling wastes most of the molecule's energy, the small amount of energy that remains limits the amount of information that can be carried as the signal. We know that living organisms must receive and interpret environmental signals in order to stay alive. In fact, survival is directly related to the speed and efficiency of signal transfer. The speed of electromagnetic energy signals is 186,000 miles per second, while the speed of diffusible chemical is considerably less than 1 centimeter per second. Energy signals are 100 times more efficient and infinitely faster than physical chemical signaling. What kind of signaling would your trillion-celled community prefer? Do the math. What are we at? 18? Okay, we'll finish this page and then we'll call it. So this one's called Buying the Farm, but farm as in pharmaceutical. I believe the major reason why energy research has been all but ignored comes down to dollars and cents. The trillion-dollar pharmaceutical industry puts its research money into the search for magic bullets in the form of chemicals because pills mean money. If energy healing could be made into tablet form, drug manufacturers would get interested quickly. Instead, they identified deviations in physiology and behavior that vary from some hypothetical norm as unique disorders or dysfunctions, and then they educate the public about the dangers of these menacing disorders. Of course, the oversimplified symptomology used in defining the dysfunctions prevalent in a drug company's advertisements has viewers convinced they are afflicted by the particular malady. Do you worry? Worry is a primary symptom of a medical condition called anxiety disorder. Stop your worry. Tell your doctor you want Adictazac, the new passion pink drug. That's so funny because if pharmaceutical companies decided to actually turn and create energy type healing devices They could make money off of that by distributing those devices around the world and then taking a percentage of when they're used. Maybe that's something that they could do to make money. I don't know, but they're going to have to start changing their thing because the placebo effect is getting stronger and stronger, as cited in the book The Source Field by David Wilcock. Very good book. Check it out. I bought it. I listened to it, but I bought it, and I'm going to read it again once it gets delivered. Meanwhile, the media essentially avoids the issue of deaths by medicine by directing our attention to the dangers of illicit drugs. They admonish us that using drugs to escape life's problems is not the way to resolve one's issues. Funny. I was just going to use that exact sentence to describe my concerns about the overuse of legal drugs. Are they dangerous? Ask the people who died last year. Anyways, we're going to end it there. I know that chapter was a whole bunch of doom and gloom about how our medical system needs to update its scientific research and start using some of the newly discovered research using quantum mechanics and quantum systems and start addressing our health issues at a molecular level. In the book The Source Field, they talk a lot about health and how to heal using energy, and it's very, very interesting. Anyways, with that being said, I just want to say Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year from me, Talon, to you, wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a blessed New Year and you had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope next year brings you everything that you wish and you want and you desire, and I hope that you continue to work on yourself and become the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, because it's not only good for you, it's good for everybody around you, and it's good for the world. It's a process. It takes time. You got to practice. You got to work. You got to put in the work. You're going to slip up. It's okay. We all do. But catch it and work on it. That's all you can do. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you, and we'll catch you at the next one.